So we are live. Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I am Shorjani Chatterjee, the host for the pre-match live, and joining me today is Snehashish Mukherjee. And today is the match between Manchester Super Giants and Trent Rockets. Now, Trent Rockets is a team that I had predicted would reach the finals. So far, Birmingham Phoenix, the qualification scenario looks a little different and a little difficult, but hopefully Trent Rockets will win today. A lot of comments regarding Manchester Super Giants already there. But Snehashish, before we begin the show, the first question to you. It obviously has to be about Smriti Mandhana. Previous match, we saw she scored 88 runs, only 12 runs short of a century, and a lot of people expressed their disappointment. But your thoughts on Smriti Mandhana and Meg Lanning, the kind of partnership that they play together?
See, I think first of all, obviously, the knock that she played yesterday, last game. I think we expect more consistency from her. I think that is the new challenge for her right now in this game onwards, that she needs to be more consistent. So let's see how she does. And see, I think in this game, she needs to get past the challenge of facing Ashley Gardner. We all know the battle between Ashley Gardner and Smriti Mandhana. That is a battle to watch out for across all formats. Whenever Australia, India face any franchise cricket is there, we always look forward that battle, that how Smriti Mandhana plays Ashley Gardner. So fantastic, no doubt about that. The way she almost single-handedly won that game for her team in the last game. I think the best thing now would be for her to continue that momentum. So let's see whether she does or not. That is one thing. And talking about Meg Lanning, I think the start was good in last game. I think it was needed at that point because when we are chasing more than 140, a good start is needed from your openers. So both Meg Lanning and Smriti Mandhana provide that. But see, I think from Meg Lanning, I will not expect every day to 60 runs. I think the weaker he can score those 20, 30 or maybe 40 runs, that can be full for the team. Because ultimately, the longer innings, I think that decision or that responsibility should be carried by Smriti Mandhana only. So I think in that aspect, I think the rule clarity is looking very clear as of now. But from beginning, I would love to see scoring 25, 30 runs regularly in a quick manner, so that can help the upcoming batters to come in and get some time to get settled.
Absolutely, Snehashish, and a lot of comments. But before that, I just wanted to read out the update. So, Manchester Super Giants have won the toss and opted to field. Now, this is this one pattern that we are noticing throughout the tournament. The team that wins the toss opts to field first. But we have the playing 11 of both the teams. I'll start with Manchester Super Giants. So, you have Meg Lanning, the captain, Smriti Mandhana, Maddie de Villiers, Paige Caulfield, Richa Ghosh, Catherine Bryce, we have Madeline Brown, Joanne Gardner, Raina McDonald Gay, Sophie Eccleston, Grace Bollinger. Now, Snehashish, we've been talking about the playing 11, and I think this one player that we have to talk about is McDonald Gay, because she has been scoring, she has been taking wickets consistently, and we've seen that in the first match that she played, she took those 4 wickets, and after that also, her performance has been impressive so far. Your thoughts on that?
I think it's good. I think it's always good for any franchise team if the if the English players for any 100 team, if the English players are doing well, I think that is always good for them to perform. So because in IPL, in WPL, what we always say that if the Indian core is good, if you have a good performing Indian core, that will be helpful for you to do well throughout the tournament. So I think for 100, the same goes for English players. If they perform well, if despite not having that much of experience, if they are getting chances and they are performing well, I think that can be helpful for any team. So good start for someone like McDonald Gay. I think she is also looking to make a comeback in the English team after a long time. So this tournament is very crucial for her. So let's see how she does in the upcoming game as well, including today. But as I mentioned, that the more English players do well for any particular team, that will be beneficial for the team as a unit to do well throughout the tournament. So let's see how she does for Manchester Super Giants going forward.
Very true. We have Sophia Dunkley. I'm reading out the playing 11 for Trent Rockets. You have Sophia Dunkley, Beth Mooney, Sophie Loof, Ashley Gardner, Bess Heath, Georgia Adams, Georgia Elvis, Kim Garth, Katie Levick, Charlie Phillips, and Samantha Bates.
No Nat Shiva
That
Brent
means there is
again.
no Nat Silverbrandt. Exactly. That is the question that I was asking you.
Okay.
No Nat Silverbrandt
Okay.
in the playing 11. Kind of
Okay.
let me just check if there are any updates on Nat Silverbrandt and why she's not playing today. Whether she has been rested or she has, decided not
Um,
to play. We'll get to know about it. But Snehashish, I'm going to start with a difficult question for you. Okay. Hush. Once again, I'm very sorry. I can't pronounce your name.
Avish.
Havish B. If
Yeah.
Havish. Okay. So now they are asking, who would you rate higher between Beth Mooney and Elisa Healy, comparing them across formats? That's a tough one. Okay, Snehashish, I'm going to make this question a little more complicated. I'm going to add Meg Lanning to the equation as well.
Oh, then it's very difficult. I think when there is Meg Lanning, I think I will go for Lanning. I think all the years that she played for Australia, the consistency that she brought at the tops with the bat and also at a captain, I think her impact was impeccable, and you cannot compare with others. I think no one will come close to that. So I think, and not only for women's cricket, I think across men's and women, she has been the most successful captain when it comes to winning trophies, winning ICC trophies. So I think when you have three names there, I obviously will go with someone like Meg Lanning. But the real question is between Beth Mooney and Elisa Haley. So in that sense, I will go with Beth Mooney because more consistency, more reliable. Yes, Elisa Haley brought that flamboyant attitude in that team, in that Australian era, that you can go out there, play your shots, and score quickly. That's why Alice Haley was a pure entertainment. I think the way she used to play, be it for Australia, be it in franchise cricket, I think everyone loved to see Alice Haley when she was on song and playing her shots. But when it comes to consistency, when it comes to playing more, finding knocks in crunch situation throughout all this year. See the recent World Cup as well. So, and despite being a wicketkeeper as well for such a long time, it's very difficult for any player to do the wicket keeping across all formats. Across all formats, you have to also take into that account that Australia is one of the few teams that also play women's test matches a bit higher, a bit more than other teams. So in terms of that also, when it comes to all three formats, the way all this year Beth Mooney have been doing wicket keeping job as well and performing with the bat consistently, I think we have to go with someone like Beth Mooney over Elisa Haley. But as I mentioned, Elisa Haley was a fresh, breath of air way in that Australian team. The way she introduced herself, the way she played those knocks, I think it kind of showed the world that that women's cricket can also be played in an aggressive way, and she kind of introduced that. So I think in different aspect, both are quite different. But when it comes to cricketing, I will go with someone like Beth Mooney just because of the consistency and the longevity and the impact.
Very true. Gisht. Okay, sorry. You know I have trouble pronouncing your name, but they are saying that the greatest in the history of cricket, and though Lanning too had a massive role, Perry still makes up more because being an all-rounder, she was just phenomenal. Very good. Okay, I reckon Perry had a greater impact than Lanning because she dominated, and though Lanning was the captain, it was Perry who made headlines and broke all records. Everyone considers her impact to be okay. So the second comment that I took was a continuation of the first comment. Okay. And also she said
Yes,
सब लोग कैप्टन बन जाएंगे पर स्मृति वीसी से आगे नहीं जाएगी.
yeah. So
स्नेहजीश पेरी को वहां से
Perry को
निकालो.
वहां से निकल.
उसको सांस नहीं आ रही. We were having this discussion after yesterday's match as well, Snehashish, weren't we?
Yeah. यस यस
So
काइंड ऑफ हमें भी वैसा ही लग रहा है कि पेरी को शायद उतना मजा नहीं आ रहा है बर्मिंघम फिनिक्स में, पर अभी तो कुछ नहीं सकते, देखते हैं आगे क्या करते हैं फिनिक्स और पेरी एज कैप्टन.
very true. Okay, so now we'll once again start taking comments, but let us just move to the comments regarding today's match. Okay. Uh, okay. Do you think Manchester Super Giants lack the batting depth? I mean, they don't have any all-rounders down the order who can do the job on a given day. And Page Shock died is very inconsistent. Okay, oh, Page
और
Schofield. Okay, okay, okay.
that Schofield, yes,
Schofield.
yes. You just ruined that name completely, just Page Shock died. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. but but the question is about depth. Yes, you can say so because I think they are quietly heavily dependent on the top order. Yes, I think Smriti Mandana, whenever a Smriti Mandana is playing in team, you expect her to be consistent, you expect her to score in most of the games. And if she's scoring again chipping with quick scores, and that should be the perfect, perfect idea to get the batting unit. Yes, they have someone like Vidya Ghosh. Again, the inconsistency is a fact. Their ball she is getting to make some difference. I think that is one. In some parts agree that you are quite correct that maybe batting depth is lacking there, especially in terms of not having power hitter. But one thing is that they have someone like Catherine Bryce, who is known for batting at a high position for a nation, for Scotland. Catherine Bryce is bat at number batting at number 7. See the important contribution that she made in the last game, the support that gave someone like Smriti Mandana. And that is why, because she is known for batting. She is not someone like she's a bowling on yet. She bowls, she has more impact the ball without about it, but she can bat. She can bat more than decent. So I think in that sense, I think they have batters. It's not like they cannot bat, but yes, in terms of power hit, they might be lacking that in down order. But still, I think the main fundamental, the main the idea will be that one batter should continue from one end like Sri Mandana, and then others can chip in and score quickly. So let's see whether this can will work for them throughout the moment or not. As now it has been working, but if one or two collapse at the top, and then how can they respond? I think that will be a real challenge for them if they suffer that in coming games.
Very true. Okay, once again, Gish is saying, hope Smriti Mandana can get going once again and we see Manchester Super Giants winning the match, but hope it is competitive and goes till the last over. Do you want to see a competitive match as well, Snehashish?
Yes, I think last day, I think yesterday also that match was not that
It was
much interesting.
it was
If
little
I
slow. Yes.
yes, if I tell frankly, it was not that much of interest, and the performance was, every performance was decent enough. It was not any performance you can say that it was excellent or something like, out of the box. So expectation, whatever the expectation was, that was they delivered. But today I expect a good match, because if you see on the points table as well, the second position and the third position, two teams are there only. So to have a kick start, to, to get a kick start in terms of getting that playoff spot, I think this match is very crucial. Whoever wins this game, that will give them a better position for that playoff race. So I think so a big match and top players in both the teams, but as of now, not having Nativa Brandt in that team is a big blow, no doubt about that. Maybe that injury, maybe she is not playing, she is maybe taking some rest or something. We will get to know maybe the official reason behind that. But overall, Smriti Mandana, Manchester Super Giants are looking very tough, very informed on paper, and if it is happening in Manchester, so playing in home ground, Manchester Super Giants will love to get 4 points, and as of now, they are looking favorites going into this game.
Very true, Ashish. And unrelated, if you ask me about the best match that I've seen so far in the 100, the women's 100, I would say it would be the London Derby. Now, once again, we might start getting trolled, but I think the London Derby was really
Yeah.
interesting and it was a tie. We really enjoyed, and Haley
Yes.
Matthews coming in and bowling that last over. I think the London Derby was the best match so far in the 100 this season.
Mhm.
Okay, then we have Ashley Gardner versus Meg Lanning. This will be exciting. It will be
Yes.
definitely. But
Ye-
again, but again,
Yes.
Snehashish, Ashley Gardner definitely we've had our fair share of conversation regarding Ashley Gardner being the captain. But then you have Meg Lanning. Do you think this is actually a matchup that we should look forward to? Because with all due respect, it is Meg
No.
Lanning and Ashley Gardner. You understand the question, right?
Yes, yes. Yeah, I understand. But see, I think why GST is saying that, with the new Ashley Gardner can do job, and she has been doing that over the years. So I think initially Meg Lanning could be a little bit jittery, could be a little bit of scratch, and that can, you know open the doors for like Ashley Gardner to, to get that breakthrough. And as I mentioned earlier as well, not only Meg Lanning, I think both the openers, Smriti Mandana, Ashley Gardner, the battle that we always look forward. I think there's been the battle, Smriti Mandana has struggled. Despite being in form, we have seen it getting out to Ashley Gardner. So I think with the new ball, I am expecting Ashley Gardner to bowl. So let's see. I think both Meg Lanning and Smriti Mandana will face tough time. But again, for Ashley Gardner also, she needs to be more consistent. She needs to be more impactful, especially with the ball. With that, I think she's also getting limited kind of opportunity. I think she needs to be utilized properly, and she's that right has power to use herself as a better position. So let's see how she use herself better in this game and the upcoming games. But for me, Ashley Gardner versus both the Lanning or Ritik will be a battle to watch.
Okay, moving on to the next comment. Hmm. Who's your go-to player between Nadine de Klerk or Annabelle Sutherland? Both are phenomenal players, but whom would you rate higher? Comparing all three formats. What is with these questions? Why are they putting us on the spot today?
Comparing all three formats. Uh, for ODI and Test match, I will go with Annabelle Sutherland. For T20, I will go with Nadine de Klerk.
Any reason why?
Yeah, I think in longer formats, I know that Nathan de Klerk has been doing well in ODIs as well. See, I think first of all, in Test match, you don't have seen Nathan de Klerk that much because they don't play Test match at all. Very very less number of Test match, so you cannot differentiate or you cannot compare between Annabelle Sal and Nathan de Klerk. Annabelle Sal has that done enough and so good things, be it the ball, be it the bat, two double centuries. What more you want to discuss about that? So in Test match, there is no doubt that you are going with Annabelle Sutherland. In nowadays, Annabelle Sutherland can view more runs consistently than Nathan de Klerk. Nathan de Klerk, they are also playing the finisher for our country, right? She can win games like that in the game in 2025 ODI World Cup. She can do that, but how long she can do that? She obviously, when you are playing that kind of a cricket, definitely you might fail in most of the games. But when it comes to Annabelle Sutherland is a secure batter. She will go out there, take her time, but ensure that despite early failure of Australian batting unit, she will be there and ensure that 80 or 70 runs will be added. So, and with the ball, we all know the impact that she has. She will bowl 10 overs. She is a very good fielder, and she will bowl in the death overs, the tough overs, especially with her variation. So I think more impact Annabelle Sutherland in a consistent manner. In T20s, I will go with Nathan de Klerk because I think for someone like Annabelle Sutherland is very difficult in the short format to score quickly. Annabelle Sutherland is more suited for the longer format. Yes, Annabelle Sutherland can bat at number 4, number 5 and can score those important 40, 50 runs, but the strike rate might be an issue. It can be an issue. In that term, I will go with someone like Nathan de Klerk. I think those 4 overs with variations, obviously, only when you go to the bowling, even in T20s, I will go with Annabelle Sutherland. But when you compare both the batting and bowling and fielding, because when it comes to fielding, I think Nathan de Klerk and Annabelle Sutherland are quite at par, and they both are quite good fielders. But when it comes to batting and bowling in T20s, I think then as a combination, I will go with Nathan de Klerk over Annabelle Sutherland. But overall, in other two formats, there is no doubt that Annabelle Sutherland is quite ahead of Nathan de Klerk.
True. Next comment. With all the batting firepower Trent Rockets have, with all the batting firepower Trent Rockets have, can Manchester's bowling attack stop them today, or do the Rockets hold the clear advantage?
Oh, Asta has given just a Twitter caption for our preview pieces. It's kind of sounds same like that. Can they do that or can it happen? So yeah, good one, Asta. But see, I think yes, Train Rockets have the batting power, but you have to also see that Manchester bowling unit have done well. Yes, maybe the last match didn't do that much well. That is why they conceded 140 plus runs, but they also have good options there. So let's see. It will be very difficult. I think good to swing for them. I think if they somehow manage to restrict them around 125, 130, I think that will be very easy for Manchester informed batting unit. If again a big if Smith Mandana Meglaning get a good start, that will definitely help them to chase down any target. So let's see how they do. But I expect a good match to happen. That is why because both teams are quite balanced. Though I am saying that not having Nat Brand is a big issue, no doubt about that. But still, the way the teams have performed so far, I think it's a quite balanced game, and I expect this game to go till the last ball, or maybe I excited at least.
Okay. Off topic, there's often talk about lack of power hitting, but with Shafali, Harman, Richa, the firepower is definitely there. Most teams run with a mix of stroke makers and big hitters. Snehashish, so do you wait? Okay, So do you really see power hitting as the issue here?
See, I think this is what Trisha they have been pointing out. Even I think both we have been discussing this for a long time now. That whenever India fails, we always come up with those comments from different viewers that we don't have power hitters, that we were lacking in T20s. Yes, you need power hitters, but not only having power hitters can win you game. Do you really think that only having 10 or 11 Nadine de Klerk would have helped South Africa to win that World Cup? No, that will not happen. You need a batter like Lord Olvert. You need a batter like Sunil. You need a batter like Tasman Breeds, right? You need a batter like Anna Derrickson. So you have to go with the mix of power hitting and stroke player as well. See the Australian team. I think we have given this example for so many times in different lives. See how Beth Mooney has batted in different situations. See, other batters like Nat Brandt has batted. See how Danny Whitehurst batted. Danny Whitehurst batted as a decent strike for the World Cup, but still it was not that kind of very explosive innings. Like in a mix of big shots and also proper running between the wickets,
Snehashish,
proper bounce
Snehashish,
finding.
I have a counter question for you over here. See, we are
Hmm,
definitely judging the batters, but what we have to keep in mind is that it is not easy to go out there and score runs in these kind of pitches. But because we are seeing that if a bowler maintains their proper line and length, it is becoming difficult for a batter to go out there and
hmm,
score.
hmm.
So, do you think that we are definitely criticizing the batter, but what we have to keep in mind is that the pitches are also not in their favor?
Yes, but Shojan, I think that is the main thing is there. If the pitches are tough, then power hitters will struggle there. There is no doubt about that. For any power hitter, they will have to get a pitch where the ball is coming well onto their bat, and they can use that pace to hit those boundaries, over boundaries. So when the pitch is tough, then you need those quality stroke players who can find that go gaps regularly and then can score those boundaries. And that is we have been taking the names like Beth Mooney, like Shiva Brand, that when they understand that okay, this pitch is not a typical batting wicket, we have to be there, have to get a cautious start, and then after being that we can score runs, then they take that earlier time, then they accelerate it step by step, and when they end up scoring 70 or 75 runs, see the strike rate. Still, they are ending up with a strike rate of 150, 155. I think hitting maximum 1 6 or maybe without hitting a sixes, hitting only 7 or 8 boundaries, fours. So I think that is the quality. And not only boundaries, not only hitting boundaries is main criteria here. The main criteria is finding those gaps and showing immunity while running between wickets. The main intention should be always to tick on that scoreboard despite not finding boundaries. You cannot stuck there waiting for that one boundary ball. Okay, I am trying for boundaries, I am failing again and again. So when you are for a distance, see, 6 balls are there in over, right? So if you are going for the power hitting from ball one, somehow you are struggling, you are not being able to hit 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in the last 2 balls, you manage 1, 4 or maybe 1, 2. Then 6 runs in 6 balls, right? But in the first 4 balls, if you could have gone for the conventional approach of finding gaps, then in the first 4 balls, you could have get maybe 2 or 3 runs, and that could have helped you to get 8 or 9 runs from that over. So all these small details in a long, when you can do that consistent manner, all these small details become a huge difference forward. And that kind of different team like Australia, team like England or India as now, especially in T20 when it comes to batting approach. So I think the hitters will definitely struggle if the pitch is like this, a little bit slowish. So that is where you need a proper mix of stroke playing batters and power hitters. But be it stroke playing batters, be it power hitters, you need to be bring more intent, especially in your running in the wicket. So you have to fill those gaps regularly and do more better running in the wicket so that you can cover up those extra 10 15 runs that can give the extra cushion to your bowler. So I think all these small things needs to be changed.
I think there's some issue. Oh no, Snehashish is back. There was a slight issue
Yeah.
with the internet.
Okay. Okay.
But okay. Okay, now we have a question that is not related to today's match, but it says, do you guys see Renuka Singh playing till 2028? Or will India now start looking for replacement because Arundhati, Kranti and Saili aren't good in T20 and Nandini has just come in. Pace is an issue. So Ashish, with that I think Nandini has to be given more time. But on the other hand,
Hmm.
Renuka Singh, it is a concern, isn't it? Because we saw it also in the World Cup. She was struggling in her form because she got a few matches, but before the World Cup also she was not in good form at all. So Renuka Singh Thakur, and she you can't use her in the death overs. She relies completely
Hmm.
on swing. So do you think that Renuka Singh Thakur's place in the squad in 2028 is a bit dicey? Do you feel the same?
Yes, kind of. I kind of agree that as of now, are not looking that good for someone like Renuka Singh Thakur. This is an issue, no doubt about that. As the options that you mentioned, be it Arundhati, be it Anti, Sally Sadkare, and Nandini. I think obviously after this World Cup, you need to give more time to someone like Nandini Sharma. Especially across all formats, if you can give that. So let's see whether that happen, and I think that will happen. So let's see. But for Renuka, I think more than form, I think fitness. I think the fitness is not looking good for Renuka. I think you can discuss on form of any player if you see her playing, 5 or 6 games continuous manner, right? But when was the last time that I have seen Renuka Singh Thakur playing 5 or 6 games continuously? I hardly remember. I think in the 2025 ODI World Cup, we also found out that there is an injury issue. That is why the team management were, putting that workload management, and she was used in specific games, not in all the games. Even in this T20 World Cup, we saw the same thing. So the fitness is an issue. So going forward till 2028, I think if I am Renuka, I will be happy to be there. I will be happy to play that, LA Olympics, no doubt about that. But my form, my fitness, that is an issue. So I think she needs to work hard. She needs to work on that. Because as you mentioned rightly, that they you cannot do Renuka Singh Thakur that much, especially with the new we have to use. Before that, the fitness issue, whether she is fit for those who are struggling for ODIs, that you need to check out fast. As of now, the fitness is looking no near, no, nothing close to that she used to be. So I think that's the main thing. So more than form, I am very concerned about the fitness, and that is why as of now I think she is not looking that good for 2028. So but let's see how the team management decide to go with someone like Renuka, because the experience is there and she has been playing for India for such a long time. So there must be some planning. There must be some proper planning to make her a comeback. Specifically, have proper proper fitness and all, but how the approach will be, how she can make a comeback, that remains to be seen. So but a big challenge for her, no doubt about that.
True, Snehashish. And now that you were talking about fitness, there's this other player that I wanted to ask you about, and she's playing in today's match. Shrishti has also commented. Now, Richa Ghosh. There have been a lot of conversations regarding her fitness recently. But somewhere or the other, if you look at athletes also, they are confined to a certain stereotype. So, in order to be an athlete, you have to look a certain way. But on the other hand, if you see, we have Lizelle Lee, who does not confine to the stereotypes. But again, Lizelle Lee is not playing international cricket. You have Richa Ghosh, who is the main batter of the Indian team. Now, you have been focusing and you've been, closely monitoring their practice sessions. You've been watching them play for a long time. So, do you agree that Richa should now focus on her fitness? Because the fact that she looks a certain way these days, do you think somewhere or the other it has impacted her fitness on the field?
See, I think I have seen those kind of comments in last 2 3 days on social media as well. That people are talking about the fitness, and as you mentioned, some certain images of how Richa is looking nowadays. See, I will not comment on that, but I will definitely say, for any cricketer to be at the top level, to be performing in a consistent manner, you have to be fit. The fitness is very, very key, and especially when you are also doing the wicket job. So as a wicketkeeper, the fitness needs to be more, proper state long time. And as you mentioned, proper, perfect, she is also batting in a different manner. I think the way she batted last game, that also showed that. But showing kind of, I also think all these discussions can be avoided if you perform in a consistent manner. I think whatever output now, I think that is not okay. Audible? Hello,
Ashish, I think there's
hello.
some issue with your
I'm
internet.
audible.
It is a little difficult to understand what you're trying to say. I think there's some issue with the internet.
Yes,
Could you just say
I'm
something?
okay. I'm
Um,
back.
yeah, you're fine. You're fine now. Yes, you're fine. Please continue with your answer.
Yes, 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 yes. I was just saying that main thing that this kind of things can be avoided. I think if you perform regularly, I think whatever opportunity she got for in this tournament, she had that much. I think that's why people are talking about it. But yeah, I as an Indian fan, as an Indian well, for any team, for any team that she's playing for. So yes, the fitness is the key for any player. I feel going forward fitter, but I think still she has that raw talent. She has potential of going out and scoring those runs, especially with the bat. So let's see how it does, and hopefully in this game or maybe in knocks, she can come up with a good response.
Okay, so on that note, we are closing the pre-match show, but we will be back for the post-match show, and hopefully, I don't like saying this, but I really hope the Trent Rockets they win today. I know a lot of people out there are supporting Richa and Smriti, but some way or the other, I have a soft corner for Trent Rockets. So hopefully, we'll see. We'll be back for the post-match show. Till then, please keep an eye on Ref Sports. Please like, share, and subscribe, and also follow all the updates that are coming from Glasgow. Thank you so much for watching.